very systematically the meetings have been going on for all. Now, I will give the update on all the project objectives. So the first project objective was to analyze and synthesize residential energy and comfort database for India. I request Dr. Jyotirmay to present this because the lead institute is MNIT.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Vishal. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So this first objective was basically is what has already been done and what kind of data sets are available related to energy and comfort. What we are doing in this package is, in this project rather, is not only myopically looking at energy, not only myopically looking at comfort, but combining both of them because energy consumption is somewhat correlated to thermal comfort that we get in houses. So what we found was that 19 empirical studies on energy monitoring are published and 4 data sets on residential energy are available. And 20 thermal comfort related studies are published and they are in public domain. If you can read these studies that was found for use monitoring analyzing the data of appliance ownership and the usage pattern. And what we have done is we have not only collected these studies for our own consumption, but we them on our website. So now what it is available is this is the compilation of those studies. So this is kind of a search engine for residential energy and comfort. And this not only we have done the compilation, but we have customized the search methodology in such a way that a user can what exactly he needs. For example, if somebody wants to know what studies are available in India for hot and dry houses in urban areas having middle income group in which monitoring has been done. So we will click all these boxes in the search engine and out of various studies, only those studies will be coming in him, which pertaining to these. So we can, likewise, the search can be customized and that has been found very useful. In fact, we have messages from researchers all across the country that they are actually actively using this repository for their literature survey. And this work has been published in the form of a paper. So this is the paper in which meta energy studies in India that have been published. Paper. Vishal, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah. Another paper that is published in journal, and this is review of studies on thermal comfort in India. So there is
so we have developed a temperature and humidity logger and a 3-phase current logger, which we have connected in 50 homes and downloaded the data. Unified app is there by which we can download the data. This is how the system works.
The Garud and NVLog sensors are installed in several homes across various cities in India with the help of surveyors and city admins. City admins assign homes to surveyors who install and collect data with the help of Garud mobile app. Data collected from the sensors are stored as files on the server. A dashboard is designed to manage devices, homes, and data. Logging in as the city admin displays details related to that particular city. Clicking on the surveyor displays details of installation and data collected on the respective days. NVLog and Garud data can be directly downloaded to the local machine for analysis and building predictive models.
So this whole system has been developed and we can actually share it with other people also, other researchers also later on, so that they don't have to develop hardware, software, they can just use such devices and do the surveys. So it took about 2 years for us to develop 3 designs and test them, and finally we have come out with a very robust device which is being used. we did several kind of testing for interference, for battery, for durability against physical disruptions and connectivity, and all those tests were done. Then we also designed a very low cost temperature humidity logger, which can log for about 1 year with battery and with Bluetooth to transfer the data. We found a similar device with an OEM. We purchased that device. We found some small issues with those devices. We got custom made modifications and then got adaptations done. And then we developed an application. And again, we have 2,000 devices ready with us for installation. So what we are able to do now, we are able to see what is the difference in energy consumption between AC homes, non-AC homes. We have also developed an algorithm to predict when the AC is switched on, for how long. Even right now, we don't have answer to questions like in India, how many hours an average home uses AC, at what set point the AC is used, how much energy is consumed by the AC. That kind of information is not available. So with this, we have already got that information from the pilot that we have done, and as and when we apply it on a larger scale, we will have more information. We published a paper on this hardware development and software development and how it can be beneficial for the researchers. The objective 3 is to monitor 2,000 homes and get the information from these homes across all different climatic zones. Here, survey partners are playing a very vital role in getting these homes, installing this equipment, and getting the data. However, because of the COVID, because of so many other issues, especially in Delhi, because of the CAA issue and so many issues, it is we have not been able to roll out the installation, though we have 1,500 homes already registered with us. So this is the process, how the homes are registered, devices are installed, surveys are done, and then data is downloaded. This protocol is very useful for any researcher who want to do similar study in India or abroad later on. And we have defined very clearly what are the surveys to be done, in which month what surveys to be done, and how the data is to be collected. Just to give you a sense of what is the size of the data that will be collected, we have 2,000 homes, and we will be collecting the current reading at every 5 minutes for 1 year. So this will be 420 million records. And we will be recording temperature and humidity every 15 minutes, and this will be 140 million records. So we are talking about 500 million values, which will take a few gigabits of storage to keep all this data, and then analysis is going to be used. This will be the largest data set available anywhere in the world, which is doing the coincidental temperature, humidity, and energy with all the information about the homes. And this will be a fantastic data set for any researcher. Now, we have been facing a lot of problems because of the COVID, and we have redesigned our survey questionnaire, and we have also designed a new app so that instead of surveyors, if we can just send this box to the user, can the user himself install this equipment as well as download the data and push it to the server. So this is some redesign that we have been doing in the last few months while we are waiting for the COVID problem to be over. Publication was there in the Energize 2020. Then in objective 4, where IIIT is leading, and which is something which is very close to, at least personally to me, is development of smart home energy management system, where we will get disaggregated residential electricity demand by circuits. So all the 3-phase disaggregation, as well as high energy use appliances, how much energy each of them is consuming, when it is being consuming. If we have demand response, then which of the loads that can be shifted, and then also to train non-intrusive load monitoring algorithms to automatically detect which appliance is on at what time. So this package consists of one energy meter that we have developed, which is recording the data every second, voltage, current, power factor, frequency, etc. And this can be used for NILM. Then we have temperature and humidity sensor, which is Wi-Fi based. We have a smart socket, which can be used to switch on and off devices, as well as it will monitor the energy consumption. So we will be putting this into a fridge, air conditioner, geyser, and washing machine. 4 smart sockets. Then we have door open close sensor, which will tell us when the people are opening their door or closing their door, and an IR emitter, which can be used to control air conditioning devices. It also has an inbuilt temperature sensor. So we have developed this basically two items here: energy meter as well as temperature humidity sensor. And this is again at a technology readiness level 7. All the equipment are ready and we are waiting for the deployment to start. Now, when we deploy these smart home energy meters, the energy management systems, we have 5 trials. What will happen if we give this information to the user? Like say, for example, the first one, we just give the weekly, monthly energy trends. In the second one, we give energy saving tips. In the third one, we tell how your home compares to other homes, how your device is consuming energy as compared to other homes. In the fourth one, we allow them to automate the things. And in the fifth trial, we will give them time varying tariffs. So if we do these trials, we will be able to see how much savings are possible, and that will help us understand what should be the code for smart homes. So here you see trial 1. I can see what is the consumption in last 1 day for and compare it with another day. I can compare it week by week or like month by month. I can see what is the consumption breakup, how much AC is consuming, how much fridge is consuming, how much washing machine is consuming. So with this information, does my pattern of usage change? Similarly, I'll get tips. So I will get a tip like instead of using AC at 19 degrees, if I use at 23 degrees, I will save energy. I will get a tip, outdoor weather is very good. Why are you running the AC? Open the door, because all this information is available. Door, windows closed is available, AC is working is available, outside temperature is available. We can give all these tips in the real time, and the user will tell whether it was useful or not, and we will know how important the tips were. We can also do consumption comparison with other homes. So here you see my home is consuming 240 kilowatt hour as compared to low this much, high this much, and my rank is 117 out of 220 people. So I know now that I am poor, right? I am not the topper of those 200 neighborhood. So this will motivate me. I also get an information I am using 15 hours of AC in these 7 days. Others are using 10 hours. Somebody is using 20 hours. So I know where I am. I can also check my average temperature in my home as compared to others, and I can see the histogram which will tell how many users are consuming how much energy. So I am consuming 50 and so many people are consuming 50, and there are so many people who are consuming less than me. So will this motivate people to understand where they are and try to improve energy efficiency at their home? Now we can schedule the things like say for example, if we find that the geyser is on 24/7, but the person is taking bath only in the morning, we can know when the person is taking bath because the geyser will go on at that time. So we can suggest that why don't you keep the geyser only on from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. because this is the time when you are taking the bath. Don't keep it on all the time and you are wasting energy. And if this person says, yes, I like this, show me how to do this, and this will be automated. So automatically the geyser will be scheduled to be on only at this time, and this will save energy. So like this, not only we will give the tip, we will automate that tip for the user. Then suppose here we are trying to play a game here. We try to see that if there's a differential tariff in the morning, the utility charges are more, in the afternoon the utility charges are less. Then we will tell that your peak time consumption is this, off peak time consumption is this, and then maybe you can shift your washing machine or geyser to off peak and save this much energy. So if we do this and the user implements, he will save energy, and we will come to know whether this tip was, whether this incentive was good or not. Now the problem is because of the COVID, we could not really deploy the smart home energy system. We have 200 devices with us, so we thought that why don't we develop a test bench within the campus, and we developed a whole setup here. We have a complete small house, and in this we are, I'll just show a video how we are testing the system.
At IIIT Hyderabad Center for IT in Building Science, we are implementing RESIDE, a project for reduction of building energy demand in India. As a part of Work Package 2, the current consumption and indoor temperature and humidity are monitored. For WP3, we are looking at installation of SHEMS, Smart Home Energy Management System. Here, we have created a test lab so that we can test these devices before installation. As a part of Work Package 2, we will be using Garud and NVLog. Garud monitors three-phase home current consumption, NVLog monitors indoor temperature and humidity. The Work Package 3 involves installation of a smart home energy management system, a system of 5 devices. Energy meter monitors energy, power, frequency, current, voltage, etc. at a frequency of 1 second. The temperature and humidity sensor monitors indoor temperature and humidity. The door open close sensor records events of door open and close. A smart socket can control on and off functioning of appliance and also monitors its energy consumption. The IR emitter acts as a remote through the smartphone using a dedicated app. This lab is designed as an experimental home with a dining room, bedroom, kitchen, and a bathroom. The SHEMS devices and monitoring devices are installed here for testing. At the main door, a door open close sensor is installed. These events can be detected using the app. At the dining room, the temperature and humidity is monitored. In the kitchen, the fridge, which is a major energy consuming appliance, is monitored using a smart socket. In the bedroom, the AC, which is a high energy consuming appliance, is monitored using a smart socket. An IR emitter is also set up to be used as a remote using the dedicated app. To understand the change of indoor temperature and humidity, we are also monitoring the temperature and humidity using NVLog. In the bathroom, the two high energy consuming appliances, geyser and washing machine are present. Their energy consumption is monitored using smart socket. The on and off of the geyser can be scheduled using the dedicated app for the smart socket.
Uh, so this is the status update on the four objectives. Then fifth objective is to monitor CO2 level, in pollution level, etc. in some of the homes. This is not yet going on. The objective 6 is to create the residential archetypes. We have started this work, though this objective was dependent on the data to be collected, but because the data is not yet collected, we have started the work using the data available in the literature. Then later on, we'll develop a GIS-based system to understand how much savings can be achieved in a particular area when interventions are done. And then we will help in revising the code and preparing a roadmap for the smart homes. So overall, this is the output and outcomes. We have had some publications. We have 3 technologies at TRL level 7, and we have a few MTech, PhD, and MS by research students working on this project. I'll now come to the most important part, that challenges that we have been facing, and need your help here and advice that how do we overcome these challenges. First, we had a problem in the beginning with one of the survey partners dropped out. Then IIT Chennai was helpful, and Professor Maya accepted to help us here, and we joined as the 5th survey partner. In the beginning, the dollar value was 64 rupees when we applied the proposal. Then it went to 74 rupees. It was a huge problem because all our equipment, sensors were to be assembled in India but imported from outside, and then we had to rework the complete design. Fortunately, we have been able to do it in the given budget. We had placed all our orders in December, but then there was a China shutdown from January and an India shutdown from March 2020. So components came very late. Even if the components would have come on time, it would not really have helped because the COVID lockdown, nobody is willing to entertain anybody getting into a home. Even survey partners are not comfortable sending their students or researchers going to do the installation. It's not worth the risk. So all the work was stopped. And then a new problem has come. Ministry of Power has given an order that all the equipment that are connected to the grid should be tested by CPRI. We have been writing to CPRI almost for a month, but there is no response. Unless they test our equipment or tell us that these equipment are exempted from this Ministry of Power order, we cannot start the work. And then one more thing that was realized, that we should ensure the surveyors for their safety as well as the homeowners, in case something happens in a home, though nothing is expected to happen by these devices, but in case there is any claim from the homeowner, suppose the homeowner makes the claim that there is a theft in the home because we know when they were not in the house, and that kind of claim comes, then we are insured. So we want to take insurance. This is again a new challenge that has come. The survey partners have been doing their best in recruiting homes, but COVID and several other conditions are there, because of which we have not reached the target till now. So we have taken several mitigation measures. We have revised the sensors design. We have taken help of more individuals and other institutions in getting more homes. ODU is hiring some of their earlier researchers directly and helping get homes in different climatic zones. We are revising the survey questionnaire. We are revising the app so that self-installation is possible. We have developed the in-house testing facility for shams. All we are doing a lot to overcome all these issues, but still, one after the other, we have faced several challenges, and therefore we have a request. We are requesting that some of the funds relocation be allowed. International travel fund can be used for more towards salaries, for surveys, for other institutions who can help us in home recruitment. Similarly, some survey partners are unable to recruit homes, so maybe that money can be diverted to other survey partners or other individuals who are helping us. We would like more funds on the domestic travel. We would like funds for the insurance, and we would like to reduce the funds for the workshop. We might try to do that online. So some fund relocation, extension of the project by 1.5 years. Nearly no work is field work is happening since January. So extension of the project by 1.5 years will help, and with the permission to carry the recurring and equipment budget for this duration. So I think that's it. I'll stop here and uh,
Yeah,
yes,
Vishalji, can you go back?
sir.
Can you go back to the previous slide?
So this one, the request.
वही slide था ना जो travel. हाँ, इस one. International travel and नहीं. Next
Sorry.
slide. International travel, survey partners who are unable to recruit homes and workshops to salary individual institution, domestic travel, insurance. Insurance for what, sir? Actually,
Sir, the problem is that homeowner or the surveyor, if they are met with an accident, and if they make a claim on us, and if the claim is proved to be correct, then the insurance will cover it. Suppose a homeowner says because of our instrument there was a fire in the home, and he lost a fridge or a
तो
geyser.
सर इसमें कभी हुआ नहीं है. एक्चुअली आप इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल वाला डोमेस्टिक में यूज कर सकते हैं. ओके सर. एंड ऐसे तो नहीं है, बट एक्चुअली ये प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं. आज नहीं तो कल तो हमें ट्रैवल करना होगा. आपको मिलना भी मुश्किल होगा इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल में. ओके. एंड मेरा ये रिक्वेस्ट है, इसको डिस्टर्ब मत करिए अभी.
Yeah, and salaries are recurring, so I don't know. Salaries are a very different head. You can't mix up.
अभी we will come back for this and sir, Nagesh sir, technical discussion first and then we can see. And extension of 1.5 year. That is also one point, sir. Already how much extension we have given, sir, this project?
So right now there is no extension. Right now it is supposed to end in December 21.
21, okay. December 21, one more is the year is there, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
And my request is, right now you have sufficient salary budget, I hope.
Yes, we have.
And at this point of time, my request is, we will consider maybe after 6 months or so, we will have a review after 6 months. Then we can see these things, sir, including all whatever and all. By that time, we will have a clarity. And that even extension also we will, in principle, we can consider. But at this is too early, sir. 1 year before we are taking a decision is very difficult.
So the problem that if we are not spending, especially in the equipment, then we are getting this that you have to spend in this financial year. Otherwise, it will not be carry forward.
Even extension may not give the chance to take the carry forward of the non-recurring equipment, non-recurring budget. There is no provision, even there is an extension. Actually, equipment budget you have to purchase, you have to spend that money within a 1 year. There is no relation to the extension or else anything.
So that is not possible. So basically the problem is
no. You have to spend the equipment budget before 31st March.
Okay.
Otherwise, you have to return, sir. Actually, that is a Ministry of Finance rule. They spend, at least they have given a 1 year. Even next year, they are giving some grace. If they are not able to take this equipment in 2 years' time, there is no meaning to take this equipment in the last years. They are clearly mentioning.
But sir, if we are not doing anything for 1 year, why purchase software, equipment, everything, and keep it?
No. Actually, then, sir, actually, this is a debatable. Finance people, they don't look in these lines. they are thinking they should not block the public. Otherwise, they should have returned the money at the initial stage itself, and they will take whenever it is required.
Okay. So this is a
You
request.
understand my point? Actually, meaning is at any point of time, public money should not be blocked at any institute.
So we can return the balance money if they can guarantee that they will give us in 22. I mean, it's I have kept money for software and servers.
Anyhow, I don't want to waste this time for this technical experts time for this. Okay, sir. These things
Yes.
can be discussed offline, sir, with me. Okay, sir.
ठीक है.
Actually, this is not a rule of DST, it is a Government of India rule, actually. Anyhow, sir, Nagesh, it's a technical discussion now.
Yeah. Professor Devata probably will take first.
Okay, I have some questions, whether you have it or not, I don't know. Have you got, when you got, first of all, I would like to congratulate the effort that put in to collect all this data. Okay, and I found that your data frequency is too short, and you are unnecessarily collecting data which may not be useful to you. For instance, you are saying, seconds and every minute and things like that. Do you need to really collect data for such low frequencies? Because you are unnecessarily inundating your system with a lot of data. That is one point I have, and it is for you to consider. If your system can handle it and you are not paying for it or spending energy, effort, it is okay with me. But more importantly, I want to know, when you say 2,000 building dwellings, are you collecting data about the type of dwellings, how old it is? Is it a flat or a house? Are you collecting details of windows, the facing of the window, orientation of the windows, size of the windows, with parapet, without parapet, all these things, because all these things will add to gains, heat gains, and therefore energy management. And I suppose you're also collecting occupational density, like, whether in a flat, if there are only 2 people, then the energy maybe per capita can be higher. If there are 10 people, the energy per capita will be low, but then energy consumption can be high. So I just wanted to know whether you are collecting this information. Answer from you, please.
So I'll answer
Sure,
both the
yeah.
questions. So should I answer both the questions first?
Yeah, please.
Sir, you are very right. We are collecting in smart homes. We are collecting data at every 1 second. The idea here is that we want to train non-intrusive load monitoring methods. Actually, for that, 1 second is also very high. People generally collect at kilohertz frequency so that they can detect when the device starts, when the device shuts down, and different phases of the life. So 1 second is, we are not going to store this data. We'll use this data to find out which device switched on at what time. Then the 5-minute data will be aggregated to 15 minutes. And again, we will try to show that it is possible to do non-intrusive load monitoring even at a very low frequency of 5 minutes. So that is one idea about the frequency. We are collecting a lot of data for the households as well as houses. We are collecting the plants, we are collecting the list of equipment, their efficiency, number of people, salary, collecting all this information. There is actually more than 100 questions that the survey has to collect, so that people can correlate between the energy consumption and the type of house. Exactly what you said. We are collecting that.
Vishal, some disturbance. We are not able to hear your voice coherently.
Yeah,
Last 3-4 sentences we couldn't hear. I couldn't make out last 3-4 sentences you made statements. What was that actually?
So we are collecting a lot of information about the physical properties of the homes. the orientation, the
Yes.
floor plan, the location of the windows, all the equipment, insulation, what type of house it is, when was it built, all this information, as well as the homeowner's information, what is the age of the people, how many people are there, and then what is the income group, high, medium, low, like that, or exactly the salary. So we collect all this information because that information will help us understand that how energy consumption changes with the size of the house, with the number of people, with the level of education, with the income group, and all those. So this is very important, and we are collecting this. More than 100 questions are there.
But how are you assessing these data with respect to energy consumption?
So once we have this,
Vishal?
sir, Saburi.
So, Vodafob's concern is how are we addressing these? So, what we are doing, sir, the WP5, the work package 5 is exactly that. What we are doing is we are classifying buildings in energy archetypes. So far in the country, buildings are classified either only on the basis of income or only on the basis of square feet area or equipment ownership. What we are doing is we are developing a correlation which have all these elements as part of it. So it is kind of energy consumption is going to be a function of WWR, for example, type of construction or the overall public transportation value, number of occupants, wattage of appliances used, and so there will be a massive correlation, and that correlation will give us not only the estimated energy consumption, but we would also be developing benchmarks so that we can classify the buildings and help be revising the star labeling, energy star labeling of buildings.
No, so
WP5 is feed from WP2 and WP3. So, which is going to be feeding WP5. So,
Jyotirmay, your voice is not very clear. Jyotirmay, your voice is not very audible. It's breaking at times.
I try again, sir. Is it okay now, sir?
I think no, you have to adjust sound. You keep it close to you, the mic. Is it?
Yeah.
माइक से ज़्यादा है सर, आपका माइक का गेन बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो वो
Is it better?
No, no.
Okay, Vishal, you explain then.
yes.
आप
So,
जरा दूर रखिए.
this data collected, we'll be able to create models. Those models will be able to find out the relationship between these input parameters and the energy as the output. So we are planning to do some causal analysis here and find out what are the main causes for the energy consumption. So this will be just regular statistical analysis and causal analysis.
like analysis of variance or,
Yes.
something like that, or artificial neural network. Either of two you can use to understand the energy parameter with respect to various parameters.
Absolutely, sir. Yes, sir.
We are applying that, sir. We are applying it for that.
Okay, because collecting data is one, and assessing the performance and getting something out of it is the second. The final question I have is, are these available? Because I would like to try in my house to find out. So how do I get these smart pockets? Are they available for purchase?
Yes, sir. On Amazon itself, there are several different models which are available. Our problem was we found that there are different devices and each has a different app, and there is no control over the data. This will go to their server, the manufacturer's server. So we had to procure it a little different way so that we have access to the APIs and access to the data, and so that we can have the privacy. All the data should go only to our server and not to the manufacturer's server. But
my go to somebody else now.
Sorry, sir?
No, what you say is correct. That when I buy, I don't want the invasion of my privacy. No.
So right now it is all invaded. If you put any such device, the manufacturer knows exactly what's happening in your home.
Oh no, I don't want that. Okay, but your system is independent of that.
No, right now we want the data. So we are taking the data. What we have done, we have separated the user ID and the data. So the survey partners will know where this equipment is installed. They will have the name, address, but they will not get the data. The data is encrypted in the home itself from the mobile phone. We get the data, we get the specifications and the home, everything, but we don't get the address and the name and the phone number of the person. So we will have only data, they will have only the names. So this way we are ensuring privacy.
Yeah, this is very good. Yeah, I like it. But you should also, one suggestion I have, in one of the projects we are involved with GST, they chose kind of a similar dwellings in a block. Have you done that?
That is what we are doing in the 200 homes. The 200 homes will be smart homes. We don't want any variation. We don't want variation in the type of home, the orientation, the income group, everything we want to be same. So those 200 homes will be a standard control intervention type of experiment. We will take in one location. Suppose we are taking a location where IT people stay. So similar age group, similar income group, similar job profile, and then we will see whether the smart home trials and the regular home, how much is the difference in energy consumption. So in that we will have similarity. In the WP2, we want to have diversity because there are so many variables. Unless we have diversity, we will not be able to get the relationship.
Now, when I meant similar, I meant, for instance, a condo with even 20 is good, or 40 flats in a condo is good enough to get some reasonably good idea. Although statistically it's a very small number, but still it's a good, collection. But to get 200, you need to go to something like IIG, residential blocks.
So for the 2000, there are 5 cities. In each city, so this is going to be 400. Now these 400 will be in 4 or 5 clusters. So each cluster, as you said, between 50 to 100, nearly similar type of homes will be chosen.
That's not a bad idea. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Professor Jain. So Jain, you
Yeah, thank you,
to...
Professor Iyer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks, Dr. Vishal, for the overview and the nice presentation.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, sir. Please continue, sir.
There was an aeroplane overhead, so it was causing some disturbance. So I require some clarifications. One is regarding the indoor air quality. So are you doing any kind of monitoring of the indoor air quality in these homes? That is my first question, because we are talking of windows opening, closing and all that, and we want to automate that. So I would like to know, based on occupancy or based on other parameters, are you monitoring the indoor air quality? That is one thing. The second is, probably you are showing that you are monitoring some indoor CO2 levels. In addition to that, maybe VOC, for example, if that is a concern in some of the homes because there are paints, varnishes and all those things being used. And the second question is regarding the sensors. What is the kind of accuracy and range you have for these sensors, especially the accuracy? Because there are a lot of temperature, humidity sensors which are available in the market. So since you have done some controls or data collection inbuilt into these sensors, what is the kind of accuracy which you have? That is the second question. And the third is, you have mentioned about some publications on thermal comfort, etc. I was wondering, because the data has not yet come, are those publications based on some previous work or based on something which has been collected in this project? And the last question is related to the role of UK in whatever work which has been done so far. Is the UK partners also actively involved in the, suppose, the sensor development, or how do you look at it? Thanks.
Thank you, sir. So I'll answer all the 4 questions. So your first question is regarding the indoor air quality. The continuous monitoring in the 2000 homes will be for temperature and humidity only, and the door open close. But we will be doing spot monitoring, which will include CO2, PM 2.5, and I think VOC also. I'll request Dr. Jyotirmay Mathur to tell what exactly he will be doing that. So
We shall be doing PM10 also.
PM10 and VOC?
PM10 both. And CO2.
CO2. So we have limited number of sensors. So these sensors, we will be doing spot monitoring for a week in one home, then we'll take it to another home and then another home like this. So this we are monitoring. Actually, we want to see a relationship between, we want to understand why people are not opening their windows even when outside is pleasant. So is it pollution? Is it noise? Is it mosquitoes? What is the reason? If it is pollution, noise and mosquitoes, is there a relationship between the ground floor energy consumption and the higher floor energy consumption? Because at 10th floor, most of these issues will be much lesser. So this is one of the things that we want to test here. Now the accuracy, the temperature accuracy is 0.5 degrees and the humidity accuracy is 5%. And we have tested it with some other devices also. And if we look at the cost benefit, so this seems to be a reasonable accuracy that we are happy with that. For the thermal comfort paper, I will request Dr. Mathur to talk about it. We have 2 papers, one on energy and one on thermal comfort. So I'm just pulling out the paper. Dr. Mathur, will you talk about it?
Yeah. So, Professor Jain, they are on the meta study. So they are kind of literature review based. The one publication that we have based upon pilot studies are the 2 publications that we have based upon the pilot already done, have done, they are ready. They are in the process of getting finalized.
Dr. Mathur,
So,
Dr. Mathur, your voice is breaking very quite a lot.
Yeah.
They are not able
Jyotirmay,
to.
your voice is not clear.
I will explain. So basically, before we started the project, we did an exhaustive review of what has been done in India, both in the thermal comfort as well as energy. So those 2 papers were on the review, not on the data that was collected by us. But we have published one paper which is based on the data that we have, 2 papers actually, on the data that we have collected. One is the meta study of residential energy consumption. Here, no, this is the review of the existing one. We have in the this one energized one is the relationship between indoor environment, electricity use, and household social demographics. This is the one based on the limited pilot that we did. This is our data. Previous one were the existing data. Now regarding the role of UK, I will show one. Sorry.
2 more papers on pilot studies are ready for publication.
We also have one MS, full MS, as well as paper on the pilot study. So basically, this is how the I will come to. I think I will use this one. I would say that in the development of the sensor, in the development of the IT part, IIIT is leading. In the development of the methodology and the methodology of how to do these surveys, how to analyze this data, as well as for the community planning, UK is leading. UK is also leading on the social aspects. So they have experts in the social sciences. They are helping there. And MNIT is helping us with the code development as well as the models development and the models, right? POE, the post occupancy analysis. So for each work package, so we have 8 work packages, and we have leads. I think two leads from each institute is leading 2 work packages. So like this, we have 6 work packages where leads are there, and knowledge exchange and meta studies like common. So
Okay.
Mr. Iyer, I am done.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Vishal, I would like to ask few queries and also get clarifications at the same time. First of all, it's excellent work. Congratulations to the team. It's a similar observation. See, except for what you said, Vishal, I didn't really find contributions coming from UK as a joint program. There could be an individual this thing, but then not as an interdisciplinary or working together interactive mode, you know. That I didn't find. I did see the ECBC guidelines, and they have really acknowledged the work done by you. I'm really glad to see that. And now my question is now regarding the sensors. First sensors and then data. Did you use modes anytime or anywhere?
so what do you mean by mode, sir?
Okay, that means you're not used mode. You're not tried using modes. Mode, no.
I
In
don't know,
place.
sir, what.
Okay. Okay. That is a cluster of sensors, and that is, in fact, you know, you have made the statement somewhere that you have used a high resolution residential energy monitoring. So when you say high resolution residential energy monitoring means what actually?
Time wise,
From your point.
not spatial.
Okay, it's time wise. So when you say again time, it was similar to what Professor Devata asked. My question is very similar. See, when you talk about the data, that is, you said instead of second, it could have been even kilohertz data, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
So if when you say kilohertz data, are you, I mean, thinking of processing there at that upfront only and then pass on the details, or how is it? It is sent the entire this thing without filtering the entire data cluster.
So, sir, there are basically 2 kind of non-intrusive load monitoring. One is high resolution.
The samples, probably the samples are so many lakhs per second or something like that.
So we are not doing kilohertz. We are doing hertz, 1 hertz. We are transmitting this data at the server. Based on this data, it will be detected that what device is on, and then this data will be discarded. This data will not be stored. It will be converted.
It will not be filtered at the place where it is collected. It's not filtered at the place where it is collected.
Oh no, because the processing required is more, and we cannot put that much processing in each device. So processing will happen on the cloud, but this data will not be stored. The data that will be stored will be 5-minute data. 1 second data will be discarded after making the conclusion.
How is the process of discarding that is done?
It's not stored, it's just deleted. So we'll store it for say for example 1 hour or 2 hours, run the process, find out what devices are on, and then delete it.
And then delete it. So in case you need to do any correction, you will not be able to apply any correction.
No.
Online. So this is actually not a real-time one that is being thought of, right? It's not in real time.
It is real time because this is continuously coming. So we have to continuously do the calculation. What we are doing.
So that is only in terms of processing is real time, but till processing. After the processing, it is not a real time one.
After the processing, okay, I'll explain, sir. So we have ground truth of 4 devices: the AC, washing machine, dishwasher, and geyser. Now, whenever these devices are on, we have the ground truth. And then we are collecting 1 second data from the main energy meter. We will train the algorithm to check when the ground truth tells the AC is on, whether we are able to, our algorithm detecting it on or not. That is the idea for the 1 second. So we will continuously fine tune our data to see whether we are able to predict the correct switching of the devices. So this data will be useful for a data set for NILM. We might store, say, 1-day data or 2-day data and make it open for researchers. Like there are many data sets available publicly for training NILM, and they have kilohertz kind of data also, but for 1 hour, 2 hour, they make that small pieces available publicly.
All right. Okay. Now coming to the picture which you showed, about the consumption to the user,
Yes,
it was. If you can show me that chart, I need some clarification on that. The previous next one more. No, not this. There were two similar like this about the usage, not this. Yeah, here. Can you just make it little clear, full
Yes.
screen?
Yes, sir.
Actually, here when you say this average consumption, actually it is on what basis when you do this average consumption?
Yes, sir. So first, the user will select what device he wants to know the average consumption and for how many days. So I can select AC, geyser, fridge, etc. and how many days. Then what happens? I have 200 homes. In these 200 homes, I am measuring the AC consumption, all 200 homes. I will put them in a box plot. So this is basically a box plot which is made like this so the user is able to visualize it easily.
But these 200 homes are not in sync, no, Vishal? This, sorry to interrupt again. This whatever device you connect, I understand this, but they are not in sync, right? They are not synchronizing at the same time.
They are all these 200 homes. I am getting continuous electricity consumption for all the four devices.
You are getting continuous, correct? But the ACs are not at the same time. They are not on at the same time, not running for the same time also. The duration of run is also not same. It's a totally non-linear, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It is
so how this average then comes, that is where my curiosity. See,
These
how
7
does
days,
you get an average?
this is the 7-day average. Suppose 200 homes are there. In 7 days, home 1 has consumed 100 units, home 2 has consumed 105 units. Like this, we have kilowatt hour of consumption in 7 days in each home. And then we put it in average, low, high like this.
No, does it have any, by any remote chance, does it miss the peak?
The peak of what kind, sir?
Will it miss peak anywhere, any of the homes?
No, we have energy meters installed on each AC. So I know the energy consumption on each AC.
Okay.
So I have 200 AC
So,
and I know the energy consumption, continuous energy consumption. So in 7 days, how much each AC has consumed? I will compare my house with the other houses. So my house is consuming 240, suppose. It's an indicated number.
Where my question is, how do we compare? Is it possible to compare? That's what I am trying to look at.
Yes, absolutely. So I'll go slow, sir. So suppose there are 200 homes. In each AC, I put an energy meter. Okay, sir?
Yes.
And every day I know how much energy is consumed in each home. So I have a table. Each day, how much energy is consumed in each home. So I am house number 100. I want to know how much I consume. I know I consume 240 kilowatt hour.
Sir, Nagesher sir, actually other group is waiting. Actually, my request here is to the committee and team. We have how many technical work packages, Vishalji?
8 work packages, sir.
8.
Vishal sir?
8 work packages.
8 work packages.
8 is one is the dissemination. I'm talking about technical work packages.
Then I would say 6. First is the literature review, and then 6 work packages.
6 work packages, sir. Nagesher sir, actually I developed some another strategy because 1 hour, 2 hours, half day, it may not be possible for the experts also to understand how much work they are doing. We should appreciate the work done by the investigators, sir. Actually, that is also important and capture the information. I request to the chairman and committee members, why can't you people involve in your expertise, work package, and closely involve with them during their internal meetings? That will give a benefit to the project, benefit to the country also, sir, and benefit to the committee members also.
Okay.
How do you suggest, sir? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is it okay, sir?
Yeah.
It will be great, sir.
Vishal sir, I will check with Chairman sir. I will get back to you, and so that all 6 work packages will be given a one expert from expert committee. Those people will involve during your internal discussion. This will give a better understanding between the committee, DST, and investigating team. We are working for the country basically, right, sir?
Yes.
Actually,
Yeah.
we would like to appreciate you what you have done for the country, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. And
Good.
I would like to, I think can we conclude, sir, Chairman, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just I needed one small clarification because he has put something 15 hours at the bottom. So these 15 hours, there will be a bandwidth. That is what I was trying to say. It will fluctuate from a very far range to, higher range. So this is where my concern was, whether we are misreading somewhere. So otherwise, it is fine for me.
Sir, these are just indicative numbers. So some house might not have
Okay.
used 80 at all. It will be 0 here. Leftmost can be 0.
Okay.
Maximum can be
Yeah.
24/7. Suppose somebody is running 24/7.
Yeah, okay.
So accordingly,
Yeah.
it will be automatically adjusting as per the selection of the range. Automatically, it will
Okay.
rearrange.
Okay. Right. Okay, Dr. Reddy, I think this is fine. Maybe we will get more clarifications later. This was only a
Yes, sir.
clarification, not a question. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes. And Vishal Saab, for extension and reallocation, we will discuss offline whenever you have time.
Sure.
And I hope for 1 year you don't have an issue for the manpower or anything. I hope.
No
We
issues,
can
sir.
continue. Yeah, I hope you can manage for the next year.
Yes, sir.
Maybe after 6 months we can come back, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Jyotirmay Mahadur sir. Thank you, Vishal sir. And Maya sir.
Thank you.
It is a big team. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.